Howdy, good morning, and welcome to Red Sea Roundup. I'm your host, Judy Como, and today I'm happy to meet the president of St. Vincent de Paul Society here in Bryan College Station. His name is Bob Chronister, and we've been trying to make this happen for a couple of weeks, but it's coming together today. So good morning, Bob.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Very well, thank you.
I was excited to get in and up these stairs before it starts raining. So when we leave, we'll see.
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain at some point.
Yeah.
But Bob, I'm really happy to meet you. I've heard, you kind of think you know about a ministry or things that go on. But man, this St. Vincent de Paul Society is spread through much further than I knew more about. And the more you meet people who are involved with the ministry, the more you learn about it. And I'm like, if I don't know about it, other people need to know about it as well. So good morning, and tell me a little bit about yourself.
Okay, yeah. Well, so I'm a cradle Catholic. I was raised in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, Carrollton, Farmers Branch specifically, and been married for 52 years.
Oh, praise God.
I have 4 daughters, 7 grandchildren, 6 of them are grandsons, so 1 granddaughter. So a little twist different for us.
Lucky her, I guess.
Yeah, right,
I don't know.
absolutely.
She probably gets picked on a lot, but
no, she likes it.
she can take it.
She likes being the only girl.
Awesome.
But so we moved around a little bit, moved here in 2014. We're not Aggies. We're primarily moved here because of the geography. We have family in Houston and Austin and Dallas. And so
that's not uncommon. It's nice to kind of be the hub area here. Where
we're right in the middle, and it turned out to be a great move for us, great community. Got involved with St. Thomas Aquinas. In 2017, I retired from a job that I had done for many years and wanted to get more active. I had been involved with the Thanksgiving and Christmas drive, and I asked the then president at the time, Bobby Slovak, what I could do to become more involved, and he suggested home visits. And so I thought, well, that would be pretty cool. And so I started doing home visits in 2018, and basically that's when there's 2 of us, we go out, and people have called in asking for assistance, typically rent, utilities, and so we go out and we give them actually visit with them, see what their situation is, see what other needs they may have that we might be able to assist them with, and then basically, we pray with them, we try to give them some encouragement, try to give them some other resources. And so that's how I got involved. And the society, we're a conference, but we're unique because most conferences are attached to one parish. We're attached to all 5 parishes here in the Bryan College Station area. And that was decided back in the 80s. I'm not sure what the thinking was, but it's turned out to be a good thing. And all the pastors that I've talked to like it. They think it's a good thing. But we're an international organization, started in the 1840s by some college young men, and it spread very quickly. Came into the United States, I think, prior to the Civil War.
Oh.
And I think there's 4,000 conferences in the United States. And maybe, I think the number I've heard is 100,000 Vincentians in the United States. So
is the St. Vincent de Paul, is it a society like the Franciscans or the lay Carmelites? Is there a lay apostolate that's attached to it as well?
It's all lay, and we're all volunteers. We have, so we're under the diocese, so to speak, their authority, but no, we're not. I don't think we're like that. We're all volunteers. Mm-hmm. There is, I don't know about that. I've never really thought about that. But no, I think we're all, it's all.
I see. Like I said, I thought I knew about, because I knew where the thrift store was.
Right.
But that's just the top of the iceberg. There's so much more that supports that.
Right.
Different, as you said, the home visits. I didn't know that was a thing until I met someone who has been doing that, friend of mine. So it really sparked a a longing for me to learn more about it and the different aspects of it. And the idea, I was with a group of women, and one person was talking about, well, they can only do this, and and it's so all the chapters, all the separate churches and everything follow the same, whether it's called guidelines or not. But
rules, we actually have rules that, and it's an international. I don't know when they decided the rules, but I understand it was very early in the stages. But we all follow the rules. All of the different conferences have home visits. So that's something that's unique about us versus other nonprofit organizations. Sorry about that.
I'm so surprised that hasn't happened to me before.
Oh, sorry.
Quite all right.
But so all of us, that's something that's unique about St. Vincent de Paul, is that we actually do home visits. People call in asking for assistance on Friday. That's when we do our intakes. And then the home visits are assigned. And we have a team of, we do about 15, anywhere from 12 to 15, 16 home visits a week. So that's...
so one pair may go to...
Two homes.
I see.
And
it's a lot.
Yeah, so we have, 6 to 7, sometimes 18. That's always a big challenge, is getting volunteers for that, because that's not for everybody, doing that. But it's a blessing, really, it is.
Isn't that fascinating to have this idea that I'm going to help someone, and in turn it gives you more than you could have possibly given?
For sure.
I have one person that I recently spoke to who has a real struggle dealing with the poor. And she knows it's wrong. She knows that she needs, and so she said, I'm going to join and be a part of St. Vincent de Paul and pray that this helps me see them in the light that I need to. I really admire that for someone to see that.
Right.
And I think, I remember someone wanted, my husband and I own a lawn care and landscaping service, and wanted to plant some fruit trees on their property. And she said, I've been wanting them for a long time, but I had to make up my mind that I wasn't going to be upset if someone comes and takes the the fruit off of it and be okay with it, that kind of a thing. So I think we all kind of need a little nudge in the right direction when it comes from giving and helping and things like that.
Well, it's surprising because when I got involved, I really wasn't aware of how many poor people were in this area. I mean, my assumption was we lived in a very affluent area. And, but, after getting involved, you see, I mean, most of the people I think we see are what I call, the working poor. They're paycheck to paycheck. And a lot of us are paycheck to paycheck. But, and you'd be surprised. I mean, even people who make decent money are challenged. I mean, things are expensive.
I live that life.
Yeah. And, everything's gotten so expensive. And so many of the folks that we deal with, our neighbors, don't have like PTO or sick time or vacation time or anything like that. So if their kid gets sick or they get sick, they miss a week's worth of pay. That's significant, especially if they're just barely, getting by. So that's a lot of the folks that we see. And then we see, senior citizens that are on a fixed income, and, it just doesn't go far enough to cover all their expenses. And then disabled people. And I mean, there's all kinds of folks that we visit with.
My husband is a deacon, so we had to go to formation every other Saturday in Austin.
Right.
And once you hit the city limits, it's not, you see homeless people, you see people living on the streets.
Right.
And some of our training, we had to go out on 6th Street for a prayer ministry and things like that. So it's much more visible, and it's easy to think here in Bryan College Station because I don't see that.
Yeah.
But to think that our homeless or our people who are in need of help are less than that, but that's not the case.
There's a fair amount of homeless people. We don't really do a lot with that, other than sometimes with clothing, food, maybe, we refer them to Twin Cities missions, but there's a significant homeless population here too. There's a lot of folks that just go undetected, and it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. So for most of us, I think we don't pay any attention to it, and it's not really much of a concern. But there are people, and that's what the Lord calls us for, is to minister to the poor, and that's what the society is all about, basically. It's just,
so on any given week, you will always have people
oh yeah,
call in and that's the way that that's the first step for someone who
for
needs
getting
help
assistance with rent or utilities
is to make
we
a phone
have
call.
so many calls. I mean, that's one thing when I go out and visit with somebody, and I say, well, I'm so glad you're able to get through. And they say, yeah, how many times I tried to call, and they'll show me on their phone 77, 127 times. I mean, because, we only have one line, and so we have only so many slots. And so people call in, we get the information, and then we put them down, and we call the property manager or the utility company, get the details out. And then the home visit assignments are made. We go out and make the home visits the next week. By Thursday, we're writing checks, and Friday we actually deliver the checks. So they call on a Friday. By the following Friday, a check's being delivered to the utility company or the property manager.
Okay, so where's that money come from?
That's a good question. Half of so last year we had an expense of, I think our total budget was around $350,000. Half that comes from the churches. So when you give to the collection for the poor, typically we get that, or get most of it anyway. Then also we have regular donors who just on a monthly basis gives us money. And so that's where most of the rest of it comes from. There's some grant money that we've gotten in the past. We just now started getting some funding from United Way. So we get some funding from them.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So, there's different sources, but most of it, half of it comes from the churches, and most of the rest of it comes from private donors.
But you fall under the umbrella of the Diocese of Austin.
Yeah. So even though, there's an executive director in Austin, and that's called a council. And so all the conferences are under the council. And there is an executive director and there's staff. And legally, we're under them. I mean, so they prepare all the legal documents, end of the year stuff, things like that. We send them all of our financial information, program information, all that kind of stuff. They compile it, and whatever's required as a nonprofit organization, they take care of that requirement. And but the bishop is over that person or that council. So we're kind of in an indirect way under the guidance and governance of the diocese. But there's a national, there's a national in St. Louis, and then there's, they have all these different regions. So we are a separate organization, but we're under the guidance. And the same thing with the conference, we're under the guidance of the pastors. So, we're not really free-willing. We got our rules, and then we're under a guidance of the pastors.
Right. And I'm more familiar with the way the parish of St. Anthony's has, because I was a member there until my husband was ordained in 2022, and we were assigned to St. Joseph. So I don't really know the workings of the parish, but I know that when someone would say, go ring the bell, I need help, they're pointed in the direction of St. Vincent de Paul and Catholic Charities. And I think the parish supports St. Vincent de Paul in that way rather than trying to give out money there at the time. So there's always enough money, or is there times where you
No, I mean, as a matter of fact, so we're going to be starting up our Thanksgiving Christmas drive. We get a lot of donations from that. We'll be making our appeal to the parish. Brazos Valley Gives is a significant part of our fundraising. That's the only official fundraising that we participate in, and that's about to be getting started here right now, actually. And then, so, and then I'm going to be making a pulpit talk probably after the first of the year, asking for more assistance because we've moved into a new location, and so the expense has gone up as far as our rent. So, I mean, the Lord provides.
Yeah. I didn't mean to discount that by any means. I know that,
but yeah, I mean, it's always we could use. We're always looking for other ways and other resources.
Yeah, so if you had more resources, you could help more people.
Yeah,
And
and volunteers is a big part of it too. We're always looking for volunteers because we are an all-volunteer organization. We do have a part-time paid office manager, Janie Elias, and so she runs the office, but everybody else that's involved is all volunteers. We have a lot going on. We got the furniture ministry, we've got the food pantry, we've got the thrift store, we do the home visits. And so those are some of the core things. Then we have the Thanksgiving and Christmas drive, which is coming up. There's a whole team of people that are involved in that. So, volunteers are a big deal because, in many ways, the financial side seems to take care of itself. The volunteers are the ones that we're challenged to try to continue to get new people. Because one thing is a lot of what we have to do is mainly done by volunteer people that are retired. Now, we have quite a few younger people, but as people, so people tend to pass on, and we just have to continually renew our volunteer base, and but it's a big challenge right there, I think, for us.
Yeah, well, because I have been a part of a Bible study on Thursdays at St. Anthony's for 30 plus years, and someone new to our parish joined the Bible study and then decided to go back to work, and Mary Zoiber, that was a part of it. And when she came back, she kind of did a presentation where there's about 25 women that come together on Thursdays and had this wonderful volunteer opportunities. And a lot of times people just need to be given the avenue. Well, I don't want to go visit. I don't want to pray with anybody, but I can go and answer the phone.
Right.
Those kind of things.
Right.
It's all important, not one more important than the other.
For sure. There's there is a lot of different things that people can do. So I always kind of, when somebody says I'm interested in being involved, well, I'll kind of go through all the different things. I have to be honest, I do kind of push the home visits because that's where the biggest challenge for us is to get home visitors. But I know that's not for everybody. I mean, there's been times that somebody's gone with me to do a home visit, see what it's like, and they just say, that's not really, I don't think I can really do that. Well, that's fine, because that's not for everybody. But there's other things that are equally as important.
Well, you mentioned the food pantry, and that's something that I did not even know was a part of St. Vincent de Paul. So could you tell us a little bit more about the food pantry? Where is it located? And
so we're in a little office right now on the corner of 28th and Main Street, right across the street from Acme Glass.
Okay. We're
in the process of moving down the street, down South College, across the street from Midtown Park, in a 4,000 square foot building.
Oh my!
So we've moved our furniture ministry already there. Our little office that's on 28th and Main Street, that is we've got 600-700 square feet. There's a room, like a little office, that we have as our food pantry. Now we're looking forward to, when we move, we'll be able to expand it. But it's there, and we're only open on Thursday. We're a private food pantry. In other words, we're not public. If somebody, we're just not open to the public. We couldn't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough groceries, and we just don't have enough volunteers. So we're open from 9 to 3. And the people who come to our food pantry are people that the home visitors typically will see. And one of the things we do is we see what their situation is with groceries. and we'll give them a voucher and say, we're open on Thursday. Come down and get you a week's worth of groceries for your family. So that's what the purpose of the food pantry is, to serve that. Same thing with the furniture ministry. We're not a public furniture ministry. We're just private, and it's through our home visit primarily, not always. There's other ways that we'll give furniture away, but primarily when somebody goes on a home visit and we're there and we see no furniture, no beds, and that happens.
Yes.
And so we're able to say, okay, and we put in a request for furniture, and then our team, our furniture ministry team, will work towards getting that, getting furniture towards me. We have a ton of stuff donated. It's really amazing. I mean, this community is such a giving community. It's really been mind-blowing for me.
And the groceries that you hand out, where do they come from? How do you get
we can
donations?
Buy groceries from the food bank, and we get a really good price on it. They don't always have what we need, but we can get stuff from them. And then we buy stuff ourselves. A lot of stuff is donated. As I said, Thanksgiving, Christmas drive, we get, usually we'll get more donated than what we need for the Thanksgiving drive. And we just take that and we put that in storage, and then we just use it throughout the year. Also, this year, this Lent, we're going to have a drive in the parishes during
Fantastic.
Lent. So we're planning on doing that as well.
So you maybe have a box or
it's a different
like
parishes.
That. Again, referring back to my Bible study, we were trying to bring groceries on one week and toiletries on another, and now we're like, just if you want to bring something, just bring it. And then 2 or 3 of our Bible gals are also volunteers there, and so they take that and
Right. Thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's great.
Oh, well, it's a very, we're not going to talk about my Bible study, but I could. We don't just show up, read the Bible, answer the questions, and go home. Where we work
trying to live
towards
it.
being, yes, exactly, an informed community along with that. So it's very, very important. Let's take a few minutes to talk about the Thanksgiving baskets and the Christmas, how that is a huge, huge ministry. And again, I've been a part of the one at St. Anthony's that our RE classes gather donations that way, but it's nowhere close to what I think we do over 180, sometimes 200 families that are helped by this. So let's talk a little bit about that.
Like you all, I mean, now we work with you guys on Christmas. St. Anthony's does their own things for Thanksgiving. So we primarily work with the other parishes on the Thanksgiving. We do 200 families. We'll put out, and we'll start probably having bulletin announcement in the middle of October, and then probably end of October, 1st of November, we'll start actually asking for, donations. The churches do things differently. I'm much more familiar with St. Thomas because that's where I go. But we'll have a bag, a sack, brown paper sack, and we'll have a list of all the items that we're asking people to purchase, and people go and they've just put it in a sack, and then we'll receive it. We'll receive it actually in a portable building that's behind the St. Joseph High School. So they have a portable building back there.
Okay, yes.
That they let us use for the Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure we got it again this year. And so I
Attention,
hope.
Father Bryan.
Yeah, Father Bryan. I'm pretty sure we do. But so we'll have it there, and we'll separate it all there, and then we'll deliver it or people can come pick it up.
Right.
We make them a choice, give them a choice. And then for Christmas, same thing, probably the 1st of December, we'll have the bulletin notice. Then we'll have the actual drive, with Christmas angels. And then there's stuff that are online. And so we get all of our gifts, and we do 1,000 gifts. So, and then all that activity takes place at St. Anthony's. And then there we're able to basically gather all the stuff from all the different parishes, separate them into the different families and the gifts. And where we get our Thanksgiving family and Christmas gifts, where that comes from, is from our home visits. So throughout the year, we're making home visits. Then at the end, during this time, in fact, next week we'll start doing nominations. The home visitors call and ask if we can nominate them for our Thanksgiving Christmas drive. So that's where we get the folks.
But it's not exclusive to the home visitors. Is it?
It sort of is exclusive to the home visits, the neighbors that we visited. Yeah, I mean, for that year.
Mm-hmm.
And there's other programs, because people will call us and say, hey, got some gifts from y'all last year. Can we sign up for it again this year? And we usually have to say, well, it's primarily for those that we visited this year. We do take a list, and if we have any openings, we'll do it. Although we hardly ever have any openings on the gifts. But Salvation Army has a big program, and so we just refer them to other agencies that are doing it. There's a number of agencies that do it.
Awesome. If you're just joining us, I'm very honored to talk with Bob Chronister, who's a part of the president of St. Vincent de Paul here. And you mentioned also the furniture ministry. Those are donations as well. Do we ever go and buy something to? We
do buy some mattresses. Mm-hmm. But a lot of that is donated, and we get a good deal. There's an organization, I think it's called Heavenly Peace, and they actually make beds for children. And I hope I got that name right. But anyway, and then we buy mattresses, but most everything is donated. Mm-hmm. And it's the same kind of thing like our thrift store. Also, we'll get stuff from estate sales, different organizations. Hotels have given us stuff when they're renovating. Mm-hmm. We've gotten a number of stuff from them. Wow. One of the sororities had torn down the building, and they were building a new building. And so they gave us all the furniture out of there. So, and then some of the kids, we try to get the word out to the kids, the college kids.
Oh,
hey,
Lord.
Don't just throw your stuff away, give it to us. And so we've got stuff that way. And then we just have a lot of people in the community that just give us stuff. And so, it all comes, most of everything we have is donated.
What's a way that if someone's listening that says, I could volunteer for this or that, let's talk about a good way for our listeners to get in touch to get plugged in with St. Vincent de Paul.
Well, you can call us. We do have a website, so you can go to our website. And I wish I could tell you what it is.
That's all right. Caleb will get on that and reach in and tell us to it.
Yeah, but we do have a website, and then you can call us. And I'm kind of nervous, so I'm not going to remember the number, but I'll give it to you.
I might have it at the offices. You can call 979-775-2273.
That's it.
And we got our website together.
Yeah, it's SVdP, so St. Vincent de Paul -BCS, so -BryanCollege.org.
There you go.
Great.
Yeah.
And we also you can contact by email as well at svdpbcs.300@suddenlinkmail.com.
Yeah.
And
best thing is to call, really, probably, if you're interested. And I'm assuming most of your listeners are fellow Catholics at your parish. Usually there's stuff in the bulletin, and of course, if you just want to, there's opportunities to give us money through your second collection for the poor, and so yeah, there's a lot of things that are going on, and as with volunteer opportunities, and we'd love to, anybody who's interested, just wanted to know more about us.
Well, that's case in point. You can put something in the bulletin, you can speak about it from the pulpit, all of those kind of things. But the very best way to promote something is for someone who's already doing the ministry to talk to someone. Right. Let me tell you this. This is why I do it.
Right.
This is what I get from it. Right. This is how I came into it. Is a personal invitation. Yeah. And that's my curiosity was piqued by people that I know that are involved in it.
Right.
the thrift store. Tell us about how that works and how the different parts of it. So
the thrift store is, and I didn't mention it, but a significant amount of our money comes from the thrift store.
right.
So I don't want to neglect that part of it. The thrift store and the society came together at the same time. So the original intention of the thrift store was to get donations, to sell things, and to make money, and to have that help subsidize what the society does by giving money to, or help giving assistance really to our neighbors. The thrift store, we originated the office and the food pantry and the thrift store was all at 300 South Main, which was right across the street from Cafe Capri. Right on the corner there. And I think that was in the 80s.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So we were there until 2017. We moved the office up the street to 28th and Main Street. And then in 2019, we moved the store to its current location, which is on 24th, right across the street from the Longhorn Tavern. So I understand it was an old Piggly Wiggly grocery store at one time.
Right.
So we're in that location, and it's a great location. We have a super store, lovely store run by.
It is lovely.
It is.
In traveling and different things, we'll go antiquing or thrift store and things like that. So I've seen a bunch of them, but this one is just so nice. And so where do you get the what y'all sell?
Everything is donated. And it's the same thing with the furniture in the sense that we get some stuff from estate sales, garage sales. St. Thomas Aquinas has a big garage sale. St. Joseph has one. We get stuff that doesn't sell. We can go through there and pick out what we want. But mainly it's just from the community, people just making donation. You go in a store and it's really amazing. I mean, the volunteers and the people that work there do such a fantastic job. I mean, everything's presented really well.
Oh, yes.
It doesn't look like a typical thrift store. I mean, it looks like a classy store.
I agree. So how do people make donations?
You can just go there. We're open from 9 to 5, Tuesday through Saturday. And I don't think they really like taking donations on Saturdays, but they probably would. But during the week, you can come there and just drop it off on the side of the store.
Drive up in the parking lot.
Yeah, and there's a spot to leave things. And I mean, it's pretty amazing to me what goes on there. They pay for our rent, and then at the end of the year, the store they're required to keep so much money, so many months of expenses on hand. So anything over that, then they'll give us a significant percentage of it. So that goes back to us as a society for us to help with our neighbors. So they pay our rent, and then they also give us money, depending on how much money they made in profit.
That's amazing. So, I know. And is there like a list of things like don't bring computers, or is there anything? For instance, at some of the garage sales, they'll say, know this, know that, or anything. So they'll take just about anything.
Pretty much. And then they have a way of getting rid of stuff that they're not going to sell. I mean, I couldn't tell you what they wouldn't take because it seemed like I've seen everything in there. Maybe not computers, but I kind of think I've seen computers in there too. But mainly it's clothes and household items, typically, and a lot of shoes. I mean, you have tons of nice shoes, amazing shoes. In fact, these shoes came from there.
So y'all go shopping before you put it on the shelf?
Well, no, my wife actually is a volunteer there, and she does the shoes. So she keeps our entire family in shoes. But, I mean, it's incredible. And she buys them. She doesn't take them.
Oh, of course, of course. I have two friends who have recently lost their parents, and they're going through things that's such an overwhelming, my mother-in-law as well, but that's in Lafayette, such an overwhelming, what do I do? How do I do it? And it's amazing. I mean, we all have purchases that we've made that, things in the closet with tags still on it. So it's really, really nice stuff that's in the thrift store. So when you go, you're not only getting a bargain for yourself, but your money
Goes
is
a lot further.
a lot further than that.
And it goes for a good cause. I think, that's the whole thing is that, everything stays here in Bryan College Station. So, it's all going towards helping our neighbors.
This is true.
It's all good.
Let's talk a little bit about the rent and utilities is another portion of y'all's outreach. And how is that handled? How would someone get?
Well, like I had said earlier, what we do is we take intakes on Friday. And we have so many slots. Those slots are dependent upon how many volunteers that we have for that particular week.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll take the calls in. They ask for assistance. We get the information. And then we call the property managers. We call the utility company. We find out the details, what they owe, and if they're fixing to be evicted or if they're fixing to be disconnected or whatever the circumstances are. And then from there, we're able to make the home visit assignments. So that goes out Friday afternoon. Home visits are all done on the next week. And primarily the home visits are people who are looking for help with rent or utilities. And so then those visits are made. And then after that, checks are written on Thursday. Then they're delivered on Friday to the property managers. And we hand deliver them.
Okay. And someone can call for assistance once, more than once?
Well, because we want to serve as many people as we can, we limit that to once a year.
Mm-hmm.
So the rent, utility assistance once a year. Food pantry once every 6 months. We just have to limit it to, so depending on what we're doing. Medication, we help people with medication. There's a limit to how much we're able to do per person on that, and that's a dollar figure per year. So, yeah, we do have kind of a limit on how much we're able to
And so
help.
once you've assisted a person or a family or whatever, your communication with them ends, or is there some follow-up?
It depends.
After that?
We don't do a lot of follow-up. I wish we could. I mean, again, that's depending on volunteers, but if we've talked about doing that, but we really don't. Now, that's one of the things like different, say, with Catholic Charities. Catholic Charities does a lot more case management. They're working with the families on a lot more whole basis. We're really, in many cases, almost just solving an immediate problem.
I get it.
It's not, it's important. And, but in some case, but there has been times that we got more involved. Sometimes we could say, there's a bridge for them to get out of this situation. Mm-hmm. And if we did this, that, and the other, and then in those cases, we'll work with other agencies. And we've worked with Catholic Charities, MHMR, Brazos Valley Community Action Aid, different agencies that have helped us put together a more complete solution, you could say. But really, I have to be honest and say, no, in most cases, but I'll say this. I mean, I've been doing it long enough that, people know when their year's up and they'll call. I mean, in some ways, we're part of their budget. I mean, and I don't mean that to be derogatory.
No.
Every month, a lot of these folks are struggling every month to pay their rent, pay their utilities, get food. I mean, it's like a struggle every month. So they know when that year's been up and they'll call us. Mm-hmm. So I've been doing it long enough that I've come and visited people a second and a third time. Mm-hmm. So in that case, we kind of do.
I understand. Because your part of ministry was these home visits. Yeah. So, and you also mentioned prayer with the people. Is that, I would think that's, you never know how someone's going to respond to that. And is it usually a welcomed?
Oh, it always is a welcome. And sometimes they'll say the prayer. Usually we do. And just say that most of the people we see are not Catholics. So it's, at least I do a generic prayer, more of an impromptu prayer, spontaneous prayer. But, it's very welcome. It's very, very welcome. And we talk to them about, do you go to church? some of these folks are isolated. They don't have family.
Right.
And so one of the things we try to encourage them, find a faith community. And we tell them, hey, you're welcome to come to our church and visit us. But, we think that's important to share
it most
that.
definitely is.
Yeah, because so many folks sometimes are just alone and they're just struggling, and they need that, the relationship with other people, and they don't have it. So we do spend a lot of time talking about going to church, and absolutely, prayer is a big part of our home visit. And I've never had anybody say, I've had people, I could tell that they were not particularly thrilled with the idea, but I've never had anybody say, no, don't do it. Actually, we had one family that we visited. It was a Muslim family. And it was somewhat awkward for me. I said, well, do you mind if we say a prayer? He goes, no, that'd be great. So would you mind, he says to me, would you mind if I say it? I said, no, go ahead.
Wow.
And he said a prayer, and it was, a very nice prayer. Yeah, but it kind of was a surprise. But that's a big part of what we do.
The ground is level at the foot of the cross. I've heard that saying before, and all of us being a part of the body of Christ can continue. I think we find that we have a whole lot more in common than we have differences with most people that we encounter. We have just another minute with our interview. It went by pretty quick, didn't it?
Did.
Let's circle back with how people... Well, Bob, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
I thought we had another minute coming on, and God bless you and your ministry.
Thank you so much.
Stick with us, folks. We'll be back in 2 minutes.